Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest installment of Opinions Are Stupid with your old friend, what's his name from the internet, Jesus Reyes, and my cousin, Jason Medina. This is great. I'm only like a week behind in posting these, so talk about timely.
Nothing's happened in the last week. You're fine.
Yeah, nothing except people are like, "Hey, have you noticed the president's boring?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Isn't it nice?
Fantastic. I forgot he existed. Like yesterday, I was like walking around like it was like Tuesday. It wasn't yesterday. It was Monday. I was getting ready for work. You know, where I walked from my bedroom to here, and I was like, oh yeah, we have Biden's president. It was like so calm. Like everybody was calm. What's going on?
But isn't this the idea where people say they want less government in their lives? We had Trump in our faces 24/7.
Right.
Whether you liked him or not, he was just constantly in your face. Like, how could you take it?
You know, what's great about that is the Republicans knew better than to say anything about him. You know, because if they did, there'd be a tweet storm about how terrible they are. And the thing is that I was thinking every representative out there that was in government as a Republican couldn't have been so terrible. Like, I mean, they are. Some of them are. Let's talk about it. But the fact is that if they're so bad that Trump is, tweeting because they said something decent, to me it was like kind of what the fuck. And you know what? We're making the mistake of talking about Trump.
All right. We're falling in the trap. You're saying?
Yeah, it's a trap. We got caught in the Trump trap. Ah. All right. Anyway, so you have some things you wanted to bring up. You were feeling some stuff.
No, because a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the fight for 15 and your views on that and what you thought about, both sides of the story. Republicans saying we got to kind of slow ramp our way up, and then you saying we got to be more progressive and just kind of go right at the 15. So I sent you an article a couple of days ago about a European person wrote this article about the way Europe approaches the minimum wage. And basically the Norwegian, exactly. And a lot of points he was saying was immigration was a big topic. He says, the U.S. is a melting pot, and the U.S. brings in a lot of people, a lot of immigrants to help our economy. And if you bring up the minimum wage, it's just going to cause more of a backlash against immigrants saying, hey, they're making $15 an hour doing nothing, and they're taking my job away, kind of thing. Right. So that was one point that he said when it came to that.
And that's okay, but I want you to continue because I've already, that first point is obviously coming from somebody who doesn't know anything about anything. But go on.
I'm just giving you an article that I read from a Republican-leaning source. So we break it down basically, like I like to say to you. One of the other things was they don't assimilate immigrants well. This person was saying, so they've had a lot of different ways of trying to combat that idea. To basically, let's say, give them more education up front so that they can be up to par. Let's say to hit the $15. But he says that when you do that, then basically what you're doing is you're creating this system where the people of that country are paying for these immigrants to kind of like better their lives instead of the other way around. Instead of immigrants kind of like pushing forward and assimilating more, we're kind of giving them a handout to get to $15 an hour. Those are the two main points.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, interesting points. I'm not going to say that they're wrong or right or whatever, but they are wrong. But let's back this up and think about it from the point of view of the immigrant experience in the United States. And first of all, immigrants aren't all the people that are getting paid this $15 an hour, right? For the most part, when he says $15 an hour, and he doesn't understand the work base that's in the United States. Like, he's just talking shit from a point of view of somebody who's like, 15, fuck these guys, that's too much money. Right. $15 an hour, think about what $15 is and what $15 an hour represents. If you're talking about an 8-hour day, if you do the math, $15 is like it's less than $150, right? It's like $98, $95, some shit like that.
Right.
So $95 a day for a full person to work at a place, right, is kind of sad. This is we are currently at 7 or 8 or whatever, right?
Right.
Saying, hey, and if you were to think of it that way, that means that would be making like less money, right? Like even less than that. So right off the bat, we're talking about an indentured class, right, that is working for these companies and stuff, right, like McDonald's or Walmart and shit, that don't get paid a living wage for America.
Right.
So, and this is not a fight or whatever. I'm just making a point here.
Now, before you continue, a lot of people will say, because you brought up McDonald's, you're not supposed to live on McDonald's. It's a stepping stone. This is the other argument. It's a stepping stone of your career. You're supposed to get some kind of valuable, learning experience, and then take that and move on to another job.
Right. So you're saying that they should get a worthwhile education that pulls them into a college area, and then they should go from college to the workforce, and while they're doing that, they should work at McDonald's. So let's talk about what that means, okay? First of all, we don't spend money on education in this country like we used to.
Right.
So the average person coming out of high school, has trouble getting into college. Right?
Right.
So right off the bat, that's a problem. Now, as far as
right off the bat, you're in debt because you're taking a loan of $150,000.
And then you're talking about this thing about this. This it's for kids. If I go to McDonald's, if I look in a McDonald's or any fast food place, and we're using fast food because why not? Shit, I'll talk about Walmart if you want, but we're using fast food as what people keep talking about when they say minimum wage. Minimum wage is everywhere. It doesn't start with fast food and end with whatever. If you're working at a place, I as a owner of that establishment will say we're starting you off at $7.50 an hour.
Right.
As a small business owner, and you were to say, okay, I don't know.
Right. Right. Because $7.50 is not a wage at all. Let's be honest with
that's not money. And that's the thing. It's like people don't understand. If you were to do the math, but if it's a kid, what kid is working 40 hours a week making $7.50 an hour? You know what I'm saying? So already we're in this pale of whatever. Now let's talk about the immigrant experience in this country. We shouldn't pay people to assimilate. Wrong. We should definitely pay people to assimilate. Fucking A, because automatically you're saying to them, hey, you get a job, you get paid more money, you send more money back home, shit back home stabilizes too. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. We're bringing people into this country. We open these things up as the immigrant experience, and today is St. Patrick's Day, and I had left a little video on Facebook about it. We'll talk about it here too. When the Irish came to the United States because they were forced here by the potato famine, they were not part of the American ideal of white supremacy. And when I say American ideal of white supremacy, I mean they were not considered real people. They were considered less than dogs. People would put up signs on there, and don't believe me. I'm a brown guy. I don't know anything, but I read books and shit. The people put up signs and this is part of the immigrant experience. These are immigrants from Ireland. People put up signs in their windows that said "No dogs, no Irish." You see what I'm saying? So they put dogs before the Irish, equating them to less than dogs, if you were to read it from the point of view of the sign, which is fucked up, right? But the Irish came to this country during the Civil War, and they were told, hey, if you fight this war for us, we'll make you citizens. And they did, and some of those promises didn't come through for lots of different reasons, mostly because, no one liked the Irish. And the Irish are a vital part of this country now.
Right.
They were a vital part of stuff that changed, and we worked through. This is important. These are important things. These people are important to what America is. So to automatically think that, hold on 1 second.
Uh-oh. That's how you know he's feeling it, folks. When his thoughts. This is when you know he's feeling it. He's feeling it that he couldn't handle it anymore. He needed a break.
A working from home case. You can forget you left stuff in the microwave. All right, I'm back.
What was that?
That was really unprofessional.
Did you make some hot pockets? Was that what that was? What's for dinner? What's for dinner in the household today? Let's figure this out.
What's for dinner?
What's for dinner? What was so important that you rushed out to stop this thing in the microwave?
No, I had something in the microwave that I forgot about, and it had a plastic film on it.
You didn't want to start a fire. My 7-year-old knows not to put a plastic film on.
Yeah, well, no, it had a plastic film on because it was a mac and cheese. I had a big sandwich for lunch, so I was just like, I put that in, and then I had all these computer problems I completely forgot about. I didn't want to, mess it up. So, the Irish came into this country, and I used them as the immigrant experience because people came after them, but the Irish came really early, right? And they were considered garbage, and yet they slowly worked themselves into the melting pot of this country. And again, outside of the white supremacy understanding of white supremacy and what that is, and I'm saying obviously, I know this is heavy shit, but if you think about it, they weren't considered white people, right? They were considered outsiders. They came to this country. You could see like there's a lot of stuff about the Irish about the Irish experience, the Irish immigrant experience, and how they have grown to be an integral part of the United States, right? Similar to the Italians, same thing. The Italians were hated. So when we talk about immigrants, it's like that whole thing about somebody said this, like you're once you're in, you try to close the door behind you,
Right.
And that to me I always found that to be really funny because who are we? Why? The immigrants change things, and make things happen. For us to keep buying into this bullshit of this country knows what it's doing. Did you see anything of you see any of that last week tonight, where John Oliver went after what's his name from Fox News?
Who, Tucker Carlson?
Yeah, Tucker Carlson.
Right. He's been on the hot seat, Tucker Carlson. He's been getting a lot of flack.
He's a piece of shit. He's a fucking douchebag.
Well, what's funny about Tucker Carlson before you move on? There's a formula now. He just goes after whatever he thinks is the next hot button issue on the right and just attacks it day and day until he finds ones that sticks, and then he keeps going after it again. And it's
Dr.
like
Seuss.
Right, exactly. You did this for 4 years with Trump. It's like, can't you change the formula a little bit? Like, I don't know. I don't know how people keep falling for the same formula.
What I find
it's a formula.
What I find really funny is that people are mad about Dr. Seuss, and there are people that can't pay their rent. It's like, get the hell out of here with that bullshit. Really? We got to go to the border, see what's going on. Got to go to the border now, see what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. Where were you 2 years ago when there were kids in cages? Border's fine. It's that kind of bullshit. But the idea of the Irish being the Irish, for example, being these outsiders, and they melted in. So to say that we should pay, and this goes back to the idea of paying people to integrate. Yes, we should. You know why? Because that immigrant family has food to eat and gets their kids to school, and you won't get the first two that come in. You'll get the kids. And that's what we need to do. Mom and dad are never going to fucking integrate to America, as you and I know, being children of immigrants. They're like, fuck you. I'm going back to the old. My father was like, I'm going back to the old country as soon as I can. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Right. You're like, all right, you're on your own. We're staying.
I'm going to swim in hepatitis and sewage. Okay.
Right.
That's not a joke. I'm not saying.
But at least it's good weather. At least it's good weather.
I'm not dissing people in the Dominican Republic and saying that they live in hepatitis and sewage. I'm saying. There's sewage, and in the sewage there's hepatitis. And the chances are, if there's something backs up in your house, I mean, at anybody's house, but in the Dominican Republic, there's issues, man. They actually spent a lot of money on infrastructure over the last few years.
They have. They built a lot of roads. They built a subway. They built a subway not too long ago.
So that country is somewhere other than where it was. But when I was a kid, and I went back there in the freaking late 70s, early 80s, shit in the street. Not that it's, but whatever. I mean, people live, how people live there, man. Can't.
On that note, when I was 20 years old, I wanted to get the full experience. I went to the Dominican Republic to where our grandmother grew up in Bani, middle of nowhere.
Oh, Bani.
I mean, it's like going back to like the 1750s. It's there's nothing.
Horses and carriages still in the streets.
It was still there. And this was, 2004, 2005. So not too long ago, And just to see the difference of where she came from and where she took our family, because it was all her, no matter what people tell you, it was all her. How she basically raised, 5, 6 girls on her own and brought them here and basically told them, in her own way, assimilate. I mean, she was like, you got to stay here because we can't go back, and she did everything she could under her power to see the beginnings to where we are now. It was mind boggling. I spent the week and I was blown away in that week, to be honest with you.
And again, her daughters did not assimilate. My mom does not speak English, like still, like her English is something out of a TV movie. I can't.
It'll get her by, but not enough to.
Same thing with your mom. Same thing with like same thing with our cousin's mom. They a couple of them are gone now, but it wasn't them that assimilated. It was us. We assimilated, and you know what? We got shit for it.
It's very true.
Why don't you know Spanish better? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? It's like
which is crazy. We were attacked from the outsiders who say you're not assimilating enough, and then from the inside we're being saying you're assimilating too much. It was this weird dynamic that we had.
We can't change the color of our skin, right, Jason?
Right.
We can't be whiter than what we are. We can't. But we can't speak. Like it's like funny. It's like when I was growing up, and I know you got this too. When people who are also Dominican say to you, "You talk like a white guy," and you're like, "What?" I used to be called Clark Kent when I was a kid.
Right, I remember that. I do.
And I'd be like, "What?" All right, yeah, I'm Clark Kent. Yeah,
right. I remember that.
Just funny.
Good times.
Yeah. So when people say that you don't like you heard the Puerto Rican joke, right? The Puerto Rican thing that happened when I was a kid, right?
Which was that?
So when I was a kid, I was working for somebody somewhere, and they were like, it's all you PRs. Like they were talking about Puerto Ricans. It's all you PRs.
Yeah, right.
All of you PRs. And I was like, I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm Dominican. It's like same thing. It's like
right. We're all grouped together.
Growing up in Brooklyn, you're like, fine. You'll get him later with a jab to his ethnicity, right. But because everybody has their jokes. But it's to me it's kind of funny. It's like, you can't make those jokes anymore, right?
Right.
You can't talk about that stuff anymore, and because it's embarrassing or whatever. But I don't know. You're gonna make fun of my ethnicity. I'm gonna make fun of your ethnicity, Italian person, or whatever.
It's called talking smack back in the day.
Yeah, talking smack. So this guy's it's coming from a place I feel of xenophobia,
right?
And how somehow that money isn't gonna help them. Yeah, that money's gonna help them. You know why? Because it helps the rest of the economy. So, and you're not going to integrate. Yeah, they are. You know why? Because the money they get helps them, build into this, check into the society. Hey, if you're making $15 an hour and there's two of you, the chances are you'll be able to save enough money to buy that house. Oh, right. That's integrating like a motherfucker. You can't integrate much more than that in the United States.
That's the American dream.
Yeah. Buying a house in a shitty neighborhood and, and sending your kids to college. Right. At $15 an hour, which is quite the fucking feat. And I've seen people do it for less.
Oh, yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
They're scratching and clawing just to make that money. I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's moving on up to the West Side. They're redoing the Good Times. They're going to do a Good Times. I don't know if it's going to be animated or not, but the guys that do Family Guy, which I find really interesting.
Interesting.
Yes. So that's one thing. What's the other thing?
The other one was a big topic with the vaccines that's popped up. So now we have, vaccines coming online now, and people are getting them in a more rapid pace. And funny, one of the CEOs, I believe, from Pfizer was caught on a conference call saying that this is kind of a long-term game for them. Like right now we're in a pandemic, so they're working with governments and working with people to get these vaccinations out. But they feel that this is going to be part of a longer plan where they can make money off, let's say, booster shots, or make money off of variants that start developing and make money out of that. Now, This became a little bit of controversy from people who are anti-vaxxers, who was kind of saying, hey, this is the reason why I don't want to take this first round of shots, because they're just playing with us anyway. The real shot won't be real until like 2-3 years from now when all these variants kind of disappear and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing about that, right? The only thing about that is that to me doesn't make any sense, because this is the healthcare system that we have. It's a for-profit system. So for people to think it's going to get better 2 years from now, it's going to get better, so why take it now? They're just keeping you around just healthy enough so you keep taking the drug. That's
Right.
what this is for.
Yeah.
And this is a system that we have bought into. So unless you want to actually change the system, get the shot and let's move on. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't use this as an excuse for you not wanting to take it. Now, if you're afraid of putting something in your body, I totally get that. I get it. You know, not everybody feels comfortable with it. I get it. But don't give me these other excuses, because you're just giving me you're just giving me stuff that really just doesn't mean anything, because this is the healthcare system we have, and it's not going to get better anytime soon unless we do a radical restructuring. It's really that simple.
And then to your point, you know, every time vaccines get updated every year,
Right.
against the variants that are out there. So the flu vaccine, it's the same flu from 1918,
Right.
but it changes, it mutates into something new every year, and we have to, you know, set up the injections to be. That's why, you know, vaccinations for flu is they tell you to get one every year, because it's different.
Right.
And you could say, I don't need a flu vaccine, blah blah blah. You know why I need a flu vaccine? Because for the most part, the flu will knock you down for 4 days.
Right. Right.
I don't have time for that shit.
And it's a bad 4 days. Every time I've had the flu twice in my life, and I've been like, you know, it's
it's like that. It's like that. Oh,
right. You fall off a cliff, right?
You drop off. You got backache. Oh man, you're laying on the TV. You're like, oh, I can't. You know.
Yeah. Right.
So I'd rather get a shot and have arm pain for a day, and not have to worry about dying from the flu or whatever. And by the way, dying from the flu does happen to people. So
it does. It does.
And the same thing with polio. Hey, you know what's good about polio? We have a vaccine for it.
Right. 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 That's why people don't get polio, because we've gotten enough people who've taken these shots when they're kids that we don't get these shots.
Oh no, polio's out there.
Oh, it is. Oh, I know. I'm saying we don't see it as much as we could because of the shots.
It's the great thing about living in the future, and although this is a pandemic, living in the future is we were able to solve a lot of these problems that people then believe they don't need solving anymore because they don't see them.
Right.
Like the idea of measles. Well, measles doesn't kill anybody. Yeah, it does.
Right.
Measles kill people. You know, all kinds of things. Like these viruses and stuff that come around, like measles, chickenpox, all this shit. They in some situations will fuck you up. Will make your life shorter, and that's the thing. That's why we were on you know, we got our shots every 5 years or whatever it was. You know, as kids. You know, your mother would drag you to the doctor and get your shots, and schools won't let you in without your shots. And you know what?
Right.
Schools still shouldn't let you in without your shots.
Right.
Cut it the fuck out.
Now, that being said, I wish I remember the doctor's name, but he's a doctor from Colombia. He's like their science, health, you know, disaster kind of guy. He was on Star Talk with this guy. I forgot. Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I was listening to it.
He's Puerto Rican.
And he's nobody talks about that, by the way. Who knew?
He had an awesome fro too.
So when he interviewed this person, this doctor from Colombia, he basically said, if people believe that this vaccine was created in a year, they don't understand the science behind it. Because apparently in 2001, I believe, because this is COVID-2, and we dealt with COVID-1 like in 2001, 2002, and all these medical advancements started from that day pretty much. But because it wasn't a money thing, people didn't just throw money in to try to cure the disease, to try to find a vaccine for it. It was just something that was kind of worked on the background. All this data and information was being gathered for years pretty much. So when they say that the vaccine came out in a year, it wasn't a year. It was like a 15-year process. But this last year, because we focused on it and we gave money to these companies, just accelerated a process that really was kind of like on the end of being completed. You know what I'm trying to say? Yep. So he was saying this idea of people not taking because it only took a year, it's really a 15-year process. It's just the last year got accelerated because we actually took notice of it and actually cared about it.
Right.
So
and that's another reason. The other thing. It's like, you know, these vaccines are okay. So when we talk about vaccines and how they're made, you know, the vaccine is a carrier.
Okay.
The vaccine is a carrier. The things in it get percolated and changed. There was a whole thing this morning on. Here's a good thing about unbiased news like NPR and Neil deGrasse Tyson and stuff like that. People who cater in facts, not fiction or YouTube stories or whatever the fuck they do. People who talk about things that are specific to facts, is that you get more information to help you make a decision for yourself. When people say like, I'm not reading the New York Times because blah blah blah, they have a conservative bias. Yeah, you know what? They have a liberal bias too. They're not. The New York Times and the Washington Post deal with facts. And if the thing is that you don't like the fact that they're pointing out the fact that the facts that the guys you follow suck. I mean, the news is going after Governor Cuomo. Am I like, it's a conservative bias? Governor Cuomo likes to touch people, and they have these stories about it. So is that is a liberal bias? Are people being super nice to Cuomo right now? Not really. Right. You know, at least I don't think so. I kind of feel like he's playing I told you before he was going to play the Trump card. He's like, whatever accusations you have, prove it. He's basically daring people. But we said that. Yeah.
Right.
We said that. And you know what? Yeah. I mean, what he's saying is, I'm not stepping down. You step down.
And by the way, he's a lawyer, folks, so he knows the game. You can't. He's not some guy that just rose to power, whatever. This guy has been doing this for years. He understands the game, so he'll play it till at least his term is over.
He learned at his dad's feet.
Right.
And his dad, Mario, was a very good politician.
Very good speaker.
A very good governor, but he was also a good politician. And I think his son, he doesn't care. Like he's like, what seems to work? Force seems to work. Brutality seems to work in politics too. So I'll be the bully and I'll do whatever. You want me to? I apologize to these women. I don't understand what the problem. I don't remember any of this stuff. And you know why he doesn't remember any of this stuff? Because he doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
No, I mean seriously. Like
I hear you.
I did. I touched her. Yeah, you did. Oh, I remember that.
Right. Or prove it. That's the way he's looking at it.
Oh, that happened. Prove it. And you know what? These women, it becomes he said, she said. These women are not gonna have any, unless they have someone they talk to about this. And by the way, just because I tell somebody, I go to person X and say, hey man, Mario Cuomo touched me, and they're like, yeah, when? It happened on Tuesday in his office. Was anybody else there?
Right.
No. Oh. Well.
Was there video of it? Right.
Yeah. Is there video of it? No. Oh.
Right. Yeah, I know.
It's different. It's different from a woman who says that there's semen on her dress, or there's a rape kit that was pulled together,
right?
For someone like one of the Trump people. That's a very different story, But that's not. It's still the idea that it is he says she said legally. If there's no corroborating witness, then it's just an accusation.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
And I mean, I'm not saying it because in no way, shape, or form saying that Cuomo's in the right. I am in no way, shape, or form, proving any of this stuff. I am in no way, shape, or form thinking that people shouldn't go after Cuomo. As a matter of fact, investigate the shit out of him.
Right.
But to act as if he should step down, he ain't stepping down. He's not doing crap.
He's playing the lawyer card, and he's gonna run the clock out basically if he has to.
Yep, he's definitely gonna run the clock out. And that's fine.
So what did you think of, not to jump back, but because we were on vaccines, about Trump going on Fox talking about the vaccine? Do you think Trump should get credit for warp speed and for what happened up to this point? Because that's basically what he's trying. That's basically what he wants at this point.
I think that he needs to be. I think he needs to be credited for. His people need to be credited for the plan for warp speed, and the plan for warp speed was: here's some money, do this.
Right.
I mean, I could have done that. He didn't make the fucking vaccines. It's not like he made them. He gave lots of money, and by the way, not everybody took his money. Right. Whatchamacallit? AstraZeneca? AstraZeneca took the money, but Johnson didn't. No, not Johnson.
Pfizer, was it?
Pfizer.
One of them didn't. Yeah, I think Pfizer didn't.
Pfizer was like, we got this. So for us to act as if
and why? Because they were working on this, like I said, for 15 years. They already had information in the background. They just needed to actually get public support so they could push it out there.
Yeah. So this stuff was being worked on. So should we say, hey, Trump actually, got warp speed done? Yeah, Trump gave people money and then the and I would, by the way, this is not a thing against conservatives. I as a president, I would throw money at a problem too. But the understanding is, yes, but the thing that happened was when those vaccines started coming out, they could not get their shit together to deliver this stuff.
Yeah.
So you want to get to the kudos for doing it. Here's the kudos for doing it. Here's the fuck you for not getting it done, for not getting people fucking vaccinated after you had it for fucking 2 months. They were sitting on. The shit came out in October. They were sitting on it for 2 fucking months before anybody got fucking vaccinated. What the fuck?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then he wouldn't do the material thing. Like Biden is like, hey, we're gonna do the material thing. He didn't want to do it. Like, I don't understand. If you have a vaccine that's ready to roll, do everything in your power, militarize the idea of getting vaccines in people's arms, and fucking start it up. I don't understand why he didn't want to do anything. You know why? Because Trump doesn't understand operational procedures. He doesn't get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to him.
Right.
And the people that work with him are also donkeys. You know what I mean? So if you are giving people, you're like throwing vaccines at people at the army to get it done, and the army's like, okay, we're ready to get it done, and they can't get approval to get it done, then what's the fucking point?
Right. Right. And you can't throw, and this is one of those things you can't really throw at the states because it's coming in. Every state is different. Every state has different needs. Yeah. So you have to kind of have some type of regulatory situation so you can distribute it. And then once the states have it, then they can do what they need to do. But you can't just throw them out to the wolves and hope that, New York competes with like Nebraska. Like, there's two totally different ideas there.
Right. And different populations and different everything. So that's logistically, Trump is an idiot. Did he get it done? Sure, but it wasn't because he didn't make the vaccine. It's like if he went outside and fucking broke the rocks. You know what I'm saying? To act as if he gave them money. So what? I can do that too. You can do that too. It's like, I don't want to wash my car. Let's take it to a car wash.
Right.
I mean, it's very simplistic here, but I mean, come on.
Right. We're not rocket science. This is to the show, right?
Yeah. I mean, I do logistics in a way because I'm a project manager, but I'm not going to be like. And by the way, that's when I heard about that, I was like, that's juicy. What a juicy project. That was something I would love to get my hands on. Like, trying to figure out how to deliver that shit to major population centers and shit. And that's That's the other thing. One more thing. Like, for some reason, the Trump donkeys didn't have a fucking clue how to do anything. Like, there's the reason why you have a government, and I think we talked about this before, right? It's because you want that layer of security and services that encompasses you. So, like, if you have a heart attack, there's an ambulance. You know what I mean?
Right.
And those things are regulated to make sure that your heart attack, you'll be taken care of and taken to the hospital as quickly as possible. It's not like, hey, ambulances, take your time. No, they have specific needs and expectations when it comes to these people who are inside or outside the system. And the people who are in the ambulances have been trained, and regulated through a government agency to make sure. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's layers upon layers upon layers of services that are part of how we keep society going. And government is supposed to do that kind of work. And the fact is, when you have a bad government in place, shit falls through the cracks. And it's just like, and it's simple. And I try to explain that to people, and they're like, but he knows what he's doing. I'm like, no, he fucking doesn't. Because if he did, why would we not, first of all, how did this virus get here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you talk about like Barack Obama, when SARS hit and shit, Barack Obama fucking closed borders immediately.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did you see it came out like a year and a half ago, Chernobyl, when it came on HBO?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to see
it's very, very interesting, and it talks to this point that you're saying. There's a scene, not to give the movie away, but there's a scene where Chernobyl happens and they're trying to figure out how to stop this nuclear meltdown from happening, and they're sitting in a room, all these politicians communist politicians, and they're basically trying to convince each other why we can handle it instead of getting the people who are saying no, this is a problem. Like they wanted to shut the people out who can actually give problems. They just wanted people to agree that we can solve the problem without having anything behind it. So it's kind of like what you were saying with Trump. When you surround yourself with yes men who just say, yeah, we're going to solve the problem, but they don't actually have the resources to solve the problem, you're just basically going into this state of just whatever the president or the communist dictator says, and you just keep going in that circle. And if that person doesn't have the answers, who has the answers? Because you have nothing but yes men. You know what I'm trying to say? And that was the whole point of that scene. And when you were talking, it was reminding me of that. Basically.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting about Chernobyl is that they have documentation of this thing, how this happened. And right. Putin saw Chernobyl, got mad because he was like, "No, we're gonna tell the real story." It's like, fuck you, dude.
right. There's facts, right?
There's actually facts. Fuck you. You guys fucked up. But you know what? It was the idea of you know this Chernobyl and you know if you played any video games or if you've seen any movies, it's a really crazy accident that killed a lot of people, but it also kind of like people just didn't really want to move. Like they
right.
They were like, all right, how bad would radiation be if 10 miles away? Good, is that good? No, 15 miles away.
Right.
No, 20. Is 20 okay? Okay, then I'm gonna stop.
Right. No, I know. It's crazy,
and it's a bigger question. Chernobyl's in the Ukraine, right?
It's in the it's like on the border, yeah, the old Ukraine or something, right on the border, right? You would enjoy the movie because it deals more with the politics more than the actual. It dealt with all the politics and how these government officials just, kind of kept passing off the buck. But when you get rid of all those layers, there's nobody to keep passing it off to. So you just have to finding somebody has to step up, and you just hope that person's doing the good job because there's nobody else basically.
All right, yeah. So let's talk about some serious shit right now.
Right.
Couple things.
But people want to know.
Godzilla versus King Kong comes out on the 29th. On 26th. Right. I was looking into renting a theater to see it.
Nice.
And depending on where you go, it could be
Alpine.
Yeah, it could be because it would be a party showing.
Right.
And it could be as expensive as $300, which I was like, that's fuck that. That's an AMC theater in New Jersey.
Nice.
$300 for 3 people to see a movie. Mm. But that being said, since I've gotten my second vaccination and the 20th, which is a Saturday, I'm at 97%. I'm going to the theater and seeing this shit. But to your point, yeah, it should be. I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to be 6 feet away from people. It's limited. It's limited, whatever. But it's $20 as compared to $300. The idea though is. Maybe, a friend of mine just posted something on Facebook that's saying, hey, let's rent a movie theater to see Godzilla.
How many people do you need to rent out this movie theater, for example?
If you have...
With the capacities that we have now.
$300, well, think about it this way. If it's $300, I'll pay $30 to see Godzilla versus King Kong in the theater. I get 10 people together.
It's $20 for a movie now, so what's another 20, for example?
Right, exactly. And then they should fucking throw in the popcorn at least. But I'm saying we could certainly... look at like that. I would do that.
Right.
10 people. So.
Right.
That's
we can't scrounge up 10 people. We can't scrounge up 10 people.
I think we can. I think we might be able to. I think if we, family members and shit.
Right. Exactly.
Nice. It'd be nice. We can get 10. We can get 10 people to come with us.
Make it a reunion.
Reunion. That's not a bad idea, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And we could do it in Brooklyn. We just gotta find. We could find a theater in Brooklyn and do it in, like the United Artists Theater in Sheepshead Bay.
But they don't have those cool seats that you like. He likes the recliner seats. He likes to put his feet up. You like the full service guy.
Don't get me started. I love that. I love the fact that people are like, let's people go to theaters. Let's make these theaters awesome. And I'm like, yeah. Did you see Shazam with me? No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
I saw Shazam on 34th Street, and the theater was big, but it had these seats that were fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And I was all crumped up. It was like taking a flight in and coast to California.
But you haven't experienced it until you have it with 2 kids on your lap. That's when you've done experience. Well, you've only experienced that when you have 2 kids on your lap and you're still in that coast.
You know, I had something like that. Well, I haven't. My kids were old enough to sit in their own chairs.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh, they had their own chairs because I have to pay for them. They're still in my lap though. That's the thing.
Yeah, they're still sitting in your lap. It sucked. It sucked. Like I said, they're your kids. Cool. Hey, let's go get some candy. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Later. Get them hopped up.
Get them hopped up on candy. Later. But yeah, maybe we can do that. But now we're talking about serious stuff. It is March after all. Right. This week is the release of 2 cool things. The first being
March Madness. Is that where you're going?
March Madness, sure. 3 cool things. Falcon and Winter Soldier starts this week.
On Friday, right?
On Friday. And Justice League.
By the way, it's rated R, I believe. Like, it's not like, hey, any kids can watch it. When I saw the trailer was like very specific. Kids under a certain age cannot watch it.
Oh, look at Disney being all cool and shit. Well, that's because it's PG-13.
Right.
But the other thing that's happening is the Snyder Cut opens this week.
That's right. And I've actually heard a lot of people talking about it, which I'm surprised. Not surprised about, but I've heard a lot of people just like in passing or, when I have gone to work talking about it.
Yeah. The same week that Godzilla comes out, the show called Invincible comes out on Prime. And
right.
It's I've talked about it before. You can see the trailer on YouTube. It's Invincible. It's made by the same guy who wrote Walking Dead. And, you guys should check it out. It's half an hour, first episode. And I think they're giving you 2 for the first show. So get ready, strap in. And I think the same guys who produced The Boys, Seth Rogen and his writer team,
right?
And Steve Yeun from Walking Dead. Is that his name?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Glenn.
Glenn might be up for an Academy Award or something this year, right?
Is that true?
Yeah.
I think I've been so off with these Academy Awards because, like, we haven't really seen anything. Like, you've seen so much stuff, but you really haven't seen anything when you really think about it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you haven't seen anything when it comes to these movies. Like, I've been kind of in and out of these kind of movies just because of all the stuff going on in the world.
Steve Yeun is the voice of the main character.
Gotcha.
Because he's half Asian American, half alien. It's like funny. It's like he was in The Walking Dead. He was like, we talked about that. He was like this guy who was really beloved on The Walking Dead. He's now in a movie called Minari, and he was updated. He was up for Academy Award for that movie. And I don't know if you can see. I don't know if Minari's on any streaming service, but it's supposed to be really great.
Yeah.
So maybe you could purchase it on Amazon or whatever and check it out. It's supposed to be really good. He's also in Okja, that weird film that the guy that made Parasite made for
Parasite. When does the Justice League move? Oh, you haven't seen Parasite?
No. I haven't seen Parasite and I haven't seen Okja either.
So we got to see Parasite for the next one because I wanted to see it too, and I wanted to break it down because it got all this buzz before. So I actually want to check this out.
All right, we can talk about that. I'm happy. I haven't seen it yet, so
yeah, I have to check it out. I wanted to check it out, so maybe this weekend I can see it, so we can break it. When is Justice League coming out? When is that coming out? Oh, it's coming out tomorrow. Oh, so I definitely got to see it for the next.
It's coming out tonight at 12 midnight.
All right.
So my phone asked me, "Hey, you want me to put something on here so you wake up at 6 a.m. to watch 6 a.m. to watch fucking Justice League?" It's 4 hours long. I'm gonna be watching that and building something. Like if I usually put long movies on to
while you're building IKEA furniture
together. You know,
it's not a bad idea.
I got an IKEA dresser. Yeah, good Godfather. Of course, I always put something on backwards.
I can't stand putting IKEA furniture. I'd rather spend an extra $100 just so it comes out fixed. 'Cause I don't want to deal with it. It just takes all day. It takes
Yeah.
all day. I just
Dude,
it's frustrating.
okay, so you can't see the furniture, but all the furniture I have in this house right now, besides the couch. Well, no, I'm sorry, the sleep, the fainting couch, whatever it's called.
Right.
Everything in here, all these shelves, I built.
They're not.
Built
And
the
it
desk
took
this on, basically put
months.
together. I put together these shelves that are here. I put together my bar that has shit on it. The table came already built, but the other shelf, my console for my TV, all that stuff I put together.
I give you credit because I just give up. I just give up, and I'm like, here. I give it to the missus. Like, you finish this. I can't do this anymore.
My couch also, which I put together because it turns into it's like a futon. It turns into a futon. But it's great. It's like I everything I have in here I put together in one way or another, shape or form, and it's just like it's all the same stuff. Like I got this like look and feel throughout the house, which is like really cool.
Feng shui type of thing.
Well, it's not. There's no feng shui. That's why I'm waking up in the middle of the night.
Cold sweats. What's Biden doing? That's it. Good times.
All right, so there's that, and then there's the understanding as we walk through this is that so March is turning into this really impressive bunch of stuff that's being thrown at you, and then since I got a shot, I can go out, I can go to a bar and have a drink.
4th of July, you can party with Biden.
Well, I feel as if, I have my vaccination card in my pocket. Like, I go everywhere with it, right? I took a picture of it, so I have it in my computer, in my phone. I'm not fucking going to anybody's fucking barbecue without knowing what's going on. Like, who's, don't get me wrong, I've been vaccinated, so I'm feeling as if I'm, okay. I mean, there's variants out there, but for the most part, the vaccination is taking care of the variants, so it's not so terrible.
You got to live, right?
But I still think that there needs to be like, you get shot? Oh no, you get tested? Get fucking tested before you go anywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? Get your shots together before you see anybody.
So if you want to do a group thing, not a couple months, we're not saying now because people are still like in this in-between stage. Let's say August 1st, you would say, hey, let's get together, but only if you got the vaccine. That's where
let's
you would
get
roll.
together. I think you're going a little far. I think May, just in time for Black Widow, is really when you should start thinking about that. Notice that.
I'm saying like because right now certain people are kind of like because of different appointments and whatever. I'm just saying by August, a good portion of the population should have.
By fall, by fall, most people that will be vaccinated.
Right.
So we will have by August. By Labor Day.
Right.
You will be able to have a barbecue and not have to worry about it.
But if you find out let's say there's 20 people at this place, let's just throw a number, and that 2 of them don't, would you be like, hey, you can't come to my house?
I've been vaccinated.
Right. You don't care if they die.
I would suggest, I do care. I would suggest to get tested when you get there and to get tested when you get home. But or wear a mask. If you're not vaccinated, seriously, if you're not vaccinated, you should wear a fucking mask. Like I'm gonna be wearing a mask. I'm going to be wearing a mask going outside for fucking ever. Just from now until probably next year at this time, and even then, because I don't want to fuck around with this. But I think that masks are here for a while.
By the way, the flu has gone down this year. By the way,
there's no flu because people have been wearing masks. If I get on a subway or on a bus, I'm wearing a mask.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
just for safe.
Why not? Why not? With all the stuff that goes on a train or a plane, why not?
If I'm going supermarket shopping until like I put a mask on in the supermarket, I don't give a fuck. Like from my car from the door of the supermarket to the car, take the mask off.
Right.
In the car, no mask. But if I go shopping to Walmart or Target or some other place, mask is on.
Right.
Because why? I don't want to get sick. Period.
Why not? Right.
Forget all that other shit. I don't want to.
But you need to get sick. You need to get sick so your immune system can learn how to fight things off. Right. That's going to be the argument.
Yeah, that's what the vaccine did, though. The vaccine did that work for me already. I don't do that. That's why you get the vaccine. I feel crappy today. Oh, okay, I'm good now.
Right. Or just put menthol on your chest.
Oh
That'll fix
yeah,
it.
on your feet too. Put it on your feet. Put your socks on. I had
And
a cold. I
agua
actually had
Florida
a
too.
what?
Florida water too. Agua
Oh,
Florida.
agua de Florida. Have some tea. What kind of tea you got? Just make some tea. Get some. You'll feel better. Don't
De
forget.
maíz.
It's like, come on.
Right.
But you don't drink. That's my favorite. You don't eat and you don't drink tea. I'm like, I'm eating fine. Well, you look so thin. It's like, because I'm not eating as much as I do here. Because every night it's fucking rice and beans. And don't get me wrong, I'm not fighting it. Right? Not fighting it.
It's a staple. It's a staple.
Yeah. I love those videos like rice destroys your body. It's like, does it though? I don't know. Maybe not.
It's like the one food all around the world that's the first thing they give people when like they're malnourished because it just
Yeah, rice, 'cause it's
it
full of
holds them
iron.
until they can get more food basically.
Yeah, because it's full of iron and it does all kinds of shit. But we I think that as I think it's always about the same thing, which is don't eat so much. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm hungry. Okay, eat something when you're hungry. Like over the course of the day, if I'm not eating, like I'll have. This morning I made myself oatmeal.
Instant
And for lunch, I
or
made
you
myself,
went old school.
Yeah, well, oatmeal's oatmeal. And for lunch I made. Well, I didn't want yogurt because it was cold, and I didn't want an egg because that means I have to like break eggs and cook them. And,
Right. It smells the house up.
and if I'm gonna have egg, I'm gonna have an egg sandwich. I need a certain kind of bread for that, and I didn't have it.
Look at you. Very, very specific about your sandwiches.
Um,
I have kids. I can't be specific. It's
no,
whatever.
like peanut butter jelly. Shut up. There's two.
Right.
Grilled cheese. Shut up. Open your mouth. Eat it. You want cereal? Because that's all we got.
Right. Exactly.
Have you started doing the this is what's for dinner, and that's all we're having? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But now the new thing is the little one eats two like spoonfuls and then she's like running around like it's a kind of dance party. We're like sit down and then she's like jumping on the table, back flipping off the couch. Where do they get this energy after two bites of chicken?
What's
I don't
awesome
understand.
is if it was me when we were kids, if we did that,
Oh, I know. I know.
it would have been some cracking of belts.
Or one of our cousins used to get put on his knees holding buckets of water in the hot sun. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's why he has bad knees now. He can't walk because they had him on his.
Who is this?
More. They used to have him on his. They used to have him in the hot sun on the
was
concrete.
tortured as a child. I was like, what? She did what? That's madness.
That's like torture.
It's not like kids. We're joking, but it's true.
Oh, I know. All these things, waterboarding, they were done at one time or another
They were
back when we were
done
kids.
by our grandma. Yeah. But yeah, the dance party running around. My kids were like, I don't want to eat that. It's like, all right, there's cereal in there. You can have cereal if you want.
Right.
This is all we got. We made fried chicken. I don't like it. Well, too bad.
It's tough. Life's not fair, kid.
But I'm not gonna fight. Like my mom used to fight me. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to eat that. Well, then you got to eat that. I'm like, I don't have to do anything.
Right.
But if you want me to eat something, I don't want this, but I'll, I don't know. So you got to eat it. That's why I got used to my mother making fish and me being like, oh god.
Right.
Fish and tomato sauce.
Yeah.
And at one point you're like, whatever,
Right.
You at least
We
have
weren't lucky enough to have a dog. We could just throw it under the table and have the dog eat it. We didn't have that.
Man, we know you've heard that conversation. The dog conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, pero qué? Oh, it's like it's just a dog. Don't bring that dog around here. I'm like, I'm not bringing that dog anywhere.
He's following me.
He's following me. That's disgusting. Cats are disgusting. My favorite. I used to have two. I used to have a house full of cats. I used to have 4 cats.
Right.
Right. Before I had my kid, had 4 cats. And actually I had 3. I had 3. One of them ran away to Denver.
Literally.
My roommate, and one of them got real, and then we had 2, and we ended up giving them away before we had our kid.
Right.
But my mother would come to the house and complain about the cats. Like, oh, cats, what are you doing?
Right.
You're dirty. Blah blah. I'm like, I clean I can do litter every day. They're cats,
Right.
but and I
What's
can
the
hurt
problem?
anybody. I can imagine when you see videos of a baby with a cat now, how your parents, my mom and your mom are like,
Yeah.
ah,
All right.
he's stealing the breath. I'm like, this is retarded.
It's like the exorcism. The power of Christ compels you.
Right, right.
See?
So yeah, so
That's
there's
what we
that.
dealt with.
There's so that's what's happening in March. Very excited. Looking forward to the rest of the week, the rest of the month, because the month is almost fucking over.
Yeah, it's flying by.
Yeah. You're saying you're getting vaccinated in April?
Yeah, the end of April. I was trying to be good and trying to find, not be in the front of the line because I know there's people that needed more. So I was trying to play that, sweet spot. And I got a couple of like the end, like April 20th, I believe it is. So I said, all right, that should be good because then by by beginning of June, and it should be good and set to go. But now, what do you think about the kids? Do you think the kids will get vaccinated by a certain time? Now they're doing these tests. Moderna started the test a couple of days ago to try to get kids vaccinated.
Um, I think that kids need to be vaccinated sooner than later because of that
Yeah.
disease that happens from COVID that is really
Right.
fucking kids up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of feel like here's how I think it should go. If you're going to ask me, I'm going to tell you. But here's how I think it should go. It should go like this. It should go. Doctors, nurses, old people, whoever's in a home, right? Doctors, nurses, and then everybody who has any contact with anybody on a regular basis, food workers, people who work at supermarket, all the first responders, teachers, those people should get vaccinated next, like immediately next, right?
Right.
And then everybody else. So if you have a job that you're up with something like you're handling food, or you're
Right.
you're working at Home Depot, or any kind of person that's working in a store, any kind of person that's working working with populace,
Right.
that's how it should work, and then everybody else. Me, I'm at home. I got my shit because I was like, hey, I have high blood pressure. Okay, get your shit.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, people like that, pre and distant conditions, that kind of shit. They should get shot. Get it over with. I got lucky. I was checking stuff out, and the fuck was it?
What was that? It was like
I don't know.
Mothra passed by.
I think it was like an asp or something. What the? Anyway.
Where did you get the test? Where did you get the vaccine?
I was looking. I kept checking the app. New Jersey has an app where you can.
Yeah.
I kept checking the app. And it had an opening. Like on one morning, it was like, March 3rd or March 8th or whatever it was, March 3rd, and I was like, oh shit, and I just jumped on, and I got the shot,
Right.
and then 4 weeks later, it wasn't March, it was like it wasn't March, it was like February or something. I got it in early.
Right.
So I got my shot, and then 3 weeks, then 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I got my second shot, it was February 10th, and my second shot was March 10th. So and I got my second shot, and then I was like, I got lucky because I just got an opening and I got lucky.
Right.
So I tell everyone, just if you have an app you got to go to the app.
Check it every now and then.
Every day, check it out every day, because you never know. Maybe there'll be an opening. You'll to be able to take care of it.
Right.
Get shot.
Yeah. See?
But
Jersey seems to have a little bit of different. I think they've allowed more people earlier than New York, if I'm correct. I could be wrong, but
yeah. I mean, New York is very. There's 10 million people in New York City, right?
yeah. And that's just in Brooklyn alone.
Yeah.
And that's why Cuomo's like, hey, anybody could come in now. We don't care. We don't want it. We don't have any rules or regulations. I got too much heat.
It's whatever. All right, so I'm trying to think about Drew Brees retired.
Drew Brees is gonna.
He's out.
What about A-Rod and J-Lo? Are you a little upset about this? They broke up and now they're together again. And is this cause any problems in your life?
No.
Two media
You know what
people.
else doesn't cause any problems in my life, and I don't give a fuck about? The Royals.
Yeah, I know. It's getting a little out of control. It's true.
They were like, well, these people, these royals are racist. Like, there's no one here is racist. It's like, you're fucking racist. Shut up. Like, we didn't know that.
And how come we only care about the British royal family? There's royals all over the world. We never talk about what's going on with, like, Indian royal family or anything. We never break these royals down. What's going on with that?
The Indian royal family? What the?
I'm just saying, there's other royals around the world. We don't talk about it. Like, there's a lot of dramas going on in other parts of the world.
Because the reason why we don't talk about them is because they don't get as much stuff as Britain, because they are more storied, right?
Yeah.
And we came from them.
Yeah.
And we could talk about the British Empire and how big it is and all the stuff, like the sun never set on the British Empire, supposedly back in the day. So and that's kind of like there was all these people, all these subjects, all these people that were kind of like focused on them, and that focus never really went away. And you've had a monarch that's been the queen for like 100 years almost, right? She's been queen for more than 75 years.
Yeah.
I think about that for a minute. That's a lot of fucking time to be queen.
Right. Seen a lot of stuff in 75 years.
And she's done a lot of. When she was a princess, she was like freaking knitting stuff for the troops and shit. So
yeah.
Victoria. Elizabeth, which isn't actually her real name. Like, you get a name, like your name isn't the name you're like Prince Charles or whatever. That's Charles's name isn't actually, Prince Charles is not the actual name that they gave him.
So he was born as like
Archibald Jr. or some shit, and then they were like, "Oh, he needs a name for he needs a princely name. Let's call him Charles."
Why not? So Harry isn't Harry. You say there's no real prince. His name isn't really Harry.
Well, no, I think that
it's like Malcolm.
They stopped doing that with these two guys.
Gotcha.
Because their mom was a little bit, I don't know, less traditional, I guess.
Right. Well, she went through a lot of stuff. That woman.
She went through a lot of. She went through some wreckage.
Right.
It was terrible. I know. Diana was wonderful. She's like a candle in the wind.
Candle in the wind.
Anyway, yeah. So there's that. I mean, it's like it's distractions, right? It's like
that's exactly what it is.
Distractions, but there's good distractions and bad. Like baseball is a distraction. People will actually be going to stadiums this year. That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Sports in general is a distraction. But the hope is like to be able to do stuff that we bring ourselves closer to some kind of normalcy.
Right.
And it's getting there. I mean, we're not to be maudlin or whatever. I mean, I kind of feel like we are in a better place than we were 3 months ago.
Yeah,
a better place than we were.
It has a different feel now. You get a different feel when you walk around.
Like you feel like something's coming to an end.
Yeah,
right. Like something's finally boiling over, and you can then like start like acting like a normal person.
Right.
But seriously, man, we should think about going to see Godzilla.
Let's get 10 people, rent out a theater, let's do it.
Figure out a theater we can go to, man.
We can figure it out. Yeah, us two. We got Geets. We got Julian. We got people right there. 4 people right there.
Yo, what's up? My brother would be down. He already had it twice.
Yeah, exactly. He should be the next test that they should be doing.
Yeah, he was telling me. I said, well, "What's up with you?" He's like, "I'm feeling so much. I'm working out. I'm feeling great." I was like, "That's terrific. I mean, you were really sick." I was like, "Yeah, I was sick." It was the opposite. He said he could that the smelling going away wasn't what happened. Yeah. He smelled it. He tasted everything more. Like it was much more. And I was like, "It's just like you."
I know it's true.
We got
Everybody loses that taste, and he got like spider sense now.
I can smell that taco from across the street.
Oh man,
it's funny. All right,
but what's crazy about him though is that he thought he wasn't a guy that thought it was a hoax, but he didn't take it seriously. So it just goes to
Yeah, he
show
didn't
you
take it
that like
seriously
he
because it's
thought
no
like
big deal. It's a cold.
I could go to Vegas, 3 times
Yeah.
in a year. I could go to the Hoover Dam and just chill around, taking pictures with crowds of people.
I
Like,
mean, he's in the West, so what? I mean, it's one thing to go to like what do we got? The Catskills.
I
We
know.
got the
You're right.
Catskills and freaking well, Washington D.C. You can be in Washington D.C. in 4 hours. You can be in
Yeah.
Washington D.C. in 4 hours. You go to the Catskills in an hour and a half, and you could be in Niagara Falls in 4.
You get the falls in Jersey, those beautiful falls, the Newark Falls, whatever. What are they called?
Not Newark Falls. I know what you're talking about. They're actually
Beautiful.
very interesting.
You could jump in a barrel and go over the cliff.
They have barrels in front. Like they'll show you the barrels.
Right. You showed me the picture, I think.
Oh, it's a barrel. I actually, we're in a, this is used to be an industrial corridor.
Yeah.
Besides the inherent beauty of New York State, and of course New Jersey, beautiful parts of New York State, New Jersey. If you do not go for hikes, or drive through.
Along the Hudson, it's beautiful along the Hudson.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So feel free to or to do some and that's stuff you can do alone. You don't have to be with anybody. Just
Right.
have a mask at hand if you run into anybody. But we have the Jersey Shore, we have the Rockaways, we have Long Island Sound. There's lots of places that's close by. I mean, it's developed, unfortunately, but it's unfortunately meaning it's not pristine.
Right.
But there really isn't any more pristine beaches anywhere in the world. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you go to Thailand, and even then they just hide everything.
Yeah.
But there's tons of beautiful things to see in New York State. I forget what highway. There's a highway that you would take to go through New York. That isn't the Thruway. And the Thruway, by the way, is actually beautiful too.
Yeah.
But there's a highway I think it's 440 or whatever, and it takes you through the state. Like connects through Pennsylvania and takes you through the other side of the state. So you can go if you're going to Rochester or whatever.
Yeah.
Not Albany, but Rochester. And it's just this at one point it's just rolling hills, and if you do it in the fall, it's rolling hills of different colors just coming up at you. It's really amazing.
Right.
And you drive over a bridge, you're like, oh my god, I gotta pull over. But it's that kind of a thing. It's really
And if you really want to take a crazy hike, they've opened a new trail that goes from New York City all the way up to Canada. Walking trail.
really.
You can walk it. It takes years apparently to do it walking, but you can do it.
Well, you could also do the Appalachian Trail. The Appalachian Trail takes about 3 months to walk.
Yeah.
From West Virginia all the way up to New York, and the Appalachian Trail keeps going up. But
Let's do it.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Just make sure to wear long sleeves and long pants because of deer ticks and
Right.
which they're supposedly getting a vaccine for soon.
Is that true?
Yeah, they're working on a vaccine.
Who knew? Who knew what technology and science does for people?
I'd rather get a vaccine than get Lyme disease. I'll tell you that much. Lyme disease sucks, man. You get Bell's palsy. Your face starts.
It's not good. It's not good. I know.
Am I having a stroke? No, you got Bell's palsy. That's terrible. I know.
Yeah.
And you don't get rid of Lyme disease. You have to.
No.
It's one of those diseases you have to work on.
Yeah. Because your body never recovers, kind of thing.
No, because there's no cure. So
It's crazy.
I mean, maybe there's treatments, but I don't know. Anyway, trying to think if there's anything else kind of like this week.
Yeah. We covered a lot, though. We covered a lot in short
A
time.
lot. We certainly did. Well, we talked about Cuomo. I mean, what's to say?
Yeah. Once again, when you're a lawyer, you know the game. It's just going to be a long ride.
Oh, what do you
That's
think
it.
of
There's
the
going to be a
Grammys?
lot of ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs with this.
What do you think of the Grammys? Did WAP win? I don't know if WAP won. What won?
Didn't Beyonce win another
Yeah.
50 awards?
She got ripped off anyway. So
Yeah. Didn't Kanye come out and attack Taylor Swift again? That's
all right.
You know-
I mean, I'll take a look at the Grammy winners. We'll just quickly talk about the Grammys. Full list. Go to Vulture. Who won? Record of the Year: Black Parade by Beyonce, which I have not heard.
That's right.
Colors by Black Pumas. Oh, Everything I Wanted. Billie Eilish won.
Oh,
The
Billie
Bond
Eilish got a lot.
song for the Bond song for the movie that hasn't come out yet.
I know. That was another one I was looking forward to.
Post Malone Circles was up for, and Savage, Rockstar, Say So, Doja Cat. Yeah. Album of the Year, Folklore by Taylor Swift. Mer, mer. Song of the Year, I Can't Breathe. Okay.
Where does Kids Bop?
Megan
Where does
Thee
Kids
Stallion.
Bop come in? That's what I listen to. Kids Bop.
Kids
When does
Bop?
Kids Bop pop in?
I used to listen to that. I'm glad I'm used to it.
Maybe used to.
I don't listen to it anymore. Dua Lipa, Best Pop Vocal, Future Nostalgia.
I give that Dua Lipa a lot of credit. I like when I run and stuff, and I just random put stuff. She got some catchy stuff. This Dua Lipa. I like what the kids are at with this one.
She got some catchy stuff, this Dua Lipa. You know you're old when you start saying, you start acting like that person's a product.
Yeah. Got some.
Best rap song, Savage by Beyonce, Sean Carter, Brittany Hazard, Derek and Milano, all the people that were involved. And of course, Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce.
What did Bad Bunny win? Did he win Best Reggaeton of the Year?
Best Watermelon Sugar won for Best Pop Solo Performance.
Oh, of course.
Which, if you heard it, it's boring. Watermelon
Yeah.
Sugar, fucking boring. Lockdown, Best Latin Hip Hop, Bad Bunny, Wild Card, Best Country Album, Miranda Lambert.
Oh, Miranda Lambert.
Best Country Song,
big time.
Crowded Table, The Highway Women. Best Country Duo or Group, 10,000 Hours. Best Rock Album, The New Abnormal by The Strokes. By the way, I hate the fucking Strokes. Sound and Fury should have won because Sergio Stinson, that album is awesome. If you haven't heard the Sergio System, if you like rock and you haven't heard the Sergio System Sound and Fury album, fucking check it out. That thing is fan-fucking-tastic. It's really great. And if you want to see some really cool shit, he has a Sound and Fury animated movie on that's kind of like little pieces of little different stuff that goes with the songs on Netflix. Yeah. It's really good too.
Interesting.
So that's me saying stuff. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Best rock.
Maybe you do. That's a bit.
Best rock song. Stay High by Brittany Howard. Fiona Angel Shamalaka and a couple other people were in it, but Best Stay High won. Best rock performance Shamalaka by Fiona Apple.
Where are they performing? Everything was shut down for the year. Where are they performing these songs?
When they say best rock performance, it means the song itself.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like all these, there were no like videos and stuff. So how do they judge it this year compared to in the past?
If you go online, you could probably see videos for this stuff, but they're not.
But how do you judge it this year compared to the past?
When they say best performance, it's never about somebody performing. It's in front of something, like you see it. It's the actual performance of the song that was recorded. It's recorded.
Wouldn't that be best record? See, this is where it's confusing to me. Wouldn't it be best record?
Because best record is
isn't a record an album? Like, come on. Come on, what are we talking about here?
All right, well, let's keep going. Best rap performance, Savage. Best pop duo, Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande.
Of course.
That's huge. Best R&B album, Bigger Love. John Legend, who had another kid die on him, which is a shame.
It's crazy. I know.
It's rough. Best progressive R&B album. What it is by fucking Thundercat. Another great album. If you like R&B music, Thundercat used to be the guy. Used to be like the drummer of some of like a 90s band, like a 90s alternative band, and now he's this progressive R&B progressive dude.
Blows your mind.
Best R&B song, Better Than I Imagined, by Her. Which, by the way, I hear Her is really good.
Yeah, I listened to Her.
Yeah, whatever. Anything for You, Best Traditional R&B Performance. Best Alternative Album, Fiona Apple. Fetch the Bolt Cutters, so you know what that means. By the way, if I was a Phoebe Bridgers, fan, I'd be pissed off that Fiona Apple won, because all I've heard from millennials is Fiji Bridgers this and Fiji Bridgers that, and Generation Z and Generation Y and Generation Z too. So, if you haven't checked out Phoebe Bridgers, check her out. But I guess I'm gonna have to listen to freaking Fiona Apple.
Yeah.
And Tame Impala Beck had an album that was really great. Hyperspace was a great album. And
Beck.
Slow Rush, I didn't know if Tame Impala had another album. I gotta check that out. Best music video. See, they had videos.
See, videos.
Brown Skin
Everything's
Girl
cool.
by Beyonce.
No.
And there's a couple different. Oh, Anderson .Paak's Lockdown. That's funny. Best
I think
contemporary Christian music album, Jesus is King by Kanye West. The fuck out of here. You know he's a vainglorious jerk. Best song.
Well, I thought we just got best record and album. Not as a song.
That was it. Written for video for 2 billion different billionaire songs. So No Time to Die won for a movie that hasn't come out yet.
Interesting.
Best song written for visual media. That's new, right? So guys,
Yeah.
I haven't. Because Into the Unknown from Frozen 2, and written by the two greatest songwriters of our generation,
Great
Christian
movie.
Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, who did all the songs for the WandaVision movies. All those like intro songs. They
Really?
wrote them all.
From Park Slope, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see? Little connection to us. A little 6 degrees of separation.
Okay, now here's where I start to get pissed off. Ready? Best score soundtrack for visual media. Now, these are movie songs or TV
Right.
songs, right? So the movies that they were pushed up was Ad Astra, which was okay. Have you seen Ad Astra?
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah. It's all right.
And so the movie was garbage, but the music was okay.
Yeah.
Becoming, which I
Yeah.
1917, which is by Thomas Newman. By the way, Thomas Newman is a cool dude. Seriously.
Yeah.
He makes some interesting music. He won actually the Oscar for his music for what's the name of that movie? What's the movie with the something Beauty? Is it American Beauty?
American Beauty?
Kid with
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
the plates at the wall?
Yeah.
And that was a very minimalist soundtrack. If you ever listen to, if you like soundtracks like I do,
Right.
check out the American Beauty soundtrack because it's actually pretty amazing. But the other two movies that the Grammys gave love to, and I'm not going to tell you what the winner is, but 1917, meh. Some points interesting.
Yeah.
Themes and
Yeah, I
shit,
agree.
but, it was also very minimalist, and I guess that's because they hired Thomas Newman to do it. And
Yeah.
Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker by John Williams.
Of course.
And by the way, John Williams should get an Oscar every year anyway. I mean, Grammy or whatever. So here you go, John. I know. Just take it.
I know. He's done everything.
I got it in the
He's done
back for
everything.
you. It's cool. Why you give it to me? No reason. Just take it. But what won was the music soundtrack for the movie Joker. And that soundtrack is interesting. I'm okay that it won. Really, I'm okay that it won. I don't have an issue with that. I kind of felt Joker was a weird movie.
Yeah.
The best thing about Joker is the date I went on to see it. But it was a great date. But the music itself, the movie itself was unnerving, and then the music was fit. Like the music fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And you should, you should listen to these. All these soundtracks are on YouTube because people put them up. Check them out. You'll understand what I'm talking about. So the best compilation soundtrack of visual media, there's a couple movies out there. Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood by various artists, which is a movie I haven't seen yet. Bill and Ted's Face the Music, another movie I haven't seen yet.
I heard it's horrible.
Eurovision Song Contest and the Song of Fire Saga, Story of Fire Saga. If you haven't seen Eurovision Song Contest, please see it. It is so fucking funny. It is very, very, very funny.
Really?
Frozen 2, yawn. And then finally, which I haven't
What do you mean?
seen
That's what I saw that movie like 10 times.
Of course you
last
have.
week.
It's playing
Last
right
week.
now, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
It's like Trolls Frozen 2. Trolls Frozen 2. Maybe you throw in a Frozen every once in a while just to keep them, or Tangled just to fuck them up. But no,
Yeah. It goes right back.
it goes like.
Speaking of award show, I saw the Nickelodeon award show this weekend. BTS won Best Group, and then they got slimed.
Yeah.
See? That's what I'm up to.
BTS. Oh, the Korean kids?
Yeah. They're the rage.
They're-
The kids love them.
I'm absolutely fine with that. You wanted my favorite Korean pop band is a band called Baby Metal. And if you haven't
Uh-oh.
seen them, they are fucking amazing. There's these two girls and a fucking amazing fucking heavy metal rock band in the background, and it just like. That's what you learn from me. You learn stuff. Right, learn stuff. Check it out, baby. But the winner was Jojo Rabbit. And by the way, guys, it deserves it. Jojo Rabbit's soundtrack is fucking amazing. It's funny because I kind of feel that Jojo Rabbit's sound, their soundtrack was great, done by Michael Giancano, who is just one of these. He's the guy that's taking the mantle of like one of the greater guys. You know, I don't know about John Williams, but definitely he did this. He did the music. By the way, Michael Giancano did the music for Rogue One, which is
good.
An aping of fucking John Williams Star Wars music. If you were like sitting around going, hey, this shit, he takes the tones of all of John Williams music keys and tones and puts it in there. And you're like, wow, this is fantastic. The main theme, he has a version, kind of like a version of the Imperial March. That's freaking great. Anyway, Jojo Rabbit wins for best compilation soundtrack, and it's worth it. If you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, see it. It's a really great movie. If you haven't heard the soundtrack for Jojo Rabbit, which has like pop versions, German vocals over pop versions, which is kind of a lot of fun. So Heroes, and I Want to Hold Your Hand. Beatles actually recorded German versions of their primary songs because they used to play them in German. And they were, just a skiffle band. And also, Heroes, David Bowie sang a German version of Heroes. And that's really great.
Interesting. See, learn something new
every day. Best music film. So we got Beastie Boys.
Just at movies, not as a film. Oh, film, actual film about it.
Beastie Boys Story, Black is King by Beyonce, Spike Jonze and the Beastie Boys. We Are Freestyle Love Supreme by Freestyle Love Supreme. Linda Ronstadt, The Sound of My Voice, and a little band from Texas, ZZ Top. Linda Ronstadt won for that. I have not seen this music film, this documentary, but I will have to check it out because actually I'll have to check them out all out because they look really cool. Linda Ronstadt is half Mexican, is a Mexican American.
Who knew?
Mexican American, very different. But she grew up in the West, and she came from. And best musical theater album. Here's the interesting thing. So
Hamilton?
Amelie was because Broadway had like 3 months last year.
Yeah, but it was on Disney, so I figured it just snuck in somehow.
Yeah, Amelie. Which was that American Utopia, which is fantastic. It's basically David Byrne doing David Byrne songs, so I don't know why they do anything about it. Jagged Little Pill, the Alanis Morissette musical. Little Shop of Horrors, which is a revival, and it was off Broadway, but it's Little Shop of Horrors. Prince of Egypt. All right, I'm not a big fan of Prince of Egypt. I know people are like, fuck you, and that's fine. You can say that to me. I'm not a big fan of Prince of Egypt. Are your kids into it? Do they like that?
Not a good date for Prince of Egypt?
You're not a fan of Prince of Egypt?
No, I'm saying you loved the Joker because it was a good date. No, I guess Prince of Egypt wasn't a good date for you.
I went to that. It's all with the kids. Yeah. Best comedy album, Black Mitzvah by Tiffany Haddish. I didn't know she was a stand-up.
Yeah, she's done a couple of
stuff. Jim Gaffigan, Bill Burr, and Jerry Seinfeld were also in there. So it's obvious that people saw Tiffany Haddish, but did not see these old motherfuckers who did not have anything. Best spoken word album, Blow Out. Corrupted
Bill Burr. By the way, Bill Burr got into a little bit of heat this week. Did you see that?
By Rachel Maddow. What?
Bill Burr got into a little heat this week. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, what did he say?
No, he didn't really say anything. There's somebody came after him saying, just because you have like a black wife doesn't mean you can't be a racist. Like, I just came out of the blue, and his wife was like, "Screw you! Like, that's what are you doing? Like, why are you bringing up stuff just to bring up stuff?"
Bill Burr could care less.
Yeah, and that's basically what his wife was saying. Like,
whatever.
No, his wife said it for him. His wife was like, "Screw you!
Yeah,
what are you doing?"
Man. It's like the thing is that we have this issue where what's the word that I'm looking for? We're projecting onto people.
Right.
I have an issue with what you said, therefore you're a racist. It's like, all right, I'm a comedian first, so maybe I'm a racist second. I don't know. You know? I mean, did you saw Coming to America, right?
Yeah.
Some of those jokes were kind of racist.
Right on the border.
I'm just saying. You know, that last joke is like, yeah, you got the kid with the fly in the face. Hey. All right. Global music albums. Burna Boy won, Twice as Tall. Great. Who cares? Best dance recording. Diplo and Side Piece didn't win? What the fuck? 10% won. Best dance electronic album. Bubba Triada. I have to take that out. As you know, I kind of dig the EDM now.
Yeah. You're deep into it.
The
Pitch Mode kind of thing.
That's it. Best contemporary instrumental album, live at the Royal Albert Hall by Snarky Puppy. Oh, how interesting. Take the Stairs by Black Violin didn't win. That's interesting. John Baptiste. Wait, is instrumental album the same as jazz album? What's going on? Best.
That's what I'm saying. They're all blurring lines when it comes to best all these things.
Best arrangement for acapella, Donna Lee, by John Beasley. Best new age album, Who Cares? No, more guitar stories. Best gospel, PJ Morton. Best gospel performance, Moving On. Best roots, best recording package, Volumes 1 and 2. And by Jeff Tweedy. I'm trying to see what this is. Oh yeah, and Wilco. I think Ode to Joy. That's best limited package. All right, let me see what there's anything else in here. Best album notes, Dead Man's Pop by Bob Muir. So I have no idea what's coming out anymore. So I'm just kind of sad because I used to be really into the music scene, but not so much. Used to buy an album a week. Best regional Mexican music, Un Canto por Mexico.
Oh.
Best Latin rock alternative, La Conquista del Espacio.
Okay.
Take that, jerks. And Gershon, Porgy and Bess, best opera recording. Porgy and Bess, sorry. And that's it. I mean, I don't really, go to jazz.
It's been a rough year to kind of stay on top of these type of things.
Yeah, John Prine
won. A little thing called life got in the way this year.
Yeah. John Prine won for I Remember Everything, and you should check out John Prine if you don't know about John Prine. Trying to see if there's anything else we can talk about. No. Oh yeah, Toots and the Maytals, so bass reggae album. Got to Be Tough is supposed to be a great fucking album. Check it out if you dig it. If you dig reggae stuff.
Reggae.
Buju Banton had something out. Maxi Priest had an album out. The Wailers had an album out. Good year for reggae. Damn.
Yeah, Maxi Priest coming back.
Maxi Priest. Best Latin Jazz, 4 Questions by the Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra and Arturo Farril. Best Metal Performance, Body Count's Bum Rush. Ow. James Taylor's American Standard, where he did standard versions. He did his versions of standard American songs, which, by the way, boring. I like James Taylor, but dude. And let me see. And I think that's it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good
rundown.
Have to listen to some of this shit this week. See what's up.
Piqued the interest.
Especially the rock and pop stuff.
That's what he's into, the rock and pop these days.
Well, I'm into lots of different things, but yeah, rock and pop is all. Yeah. And the thing is about the Grammys is, you don't know. I never know when the fucking cutoff is, right? Like
I know. That's the thing. It's like there's so many rules.
What's considered a year for you? Like, is it from March to March? What's
right?
How does that work? Because Grammys are like that came out 2 years ago.
I know.
It's getting an award now.
Right.
All right, man. I think we had enough stuff here. What do you think?
We broke it down.
It's been a while. All right, kids. Got anything last minute? Any last things to say?
Just Justice League. Got to watch it. 4 hours.
4 hours, Justice League. Check it out. Supposedly, one of the things that's interesting about Justice League, by the way, not to ruin anything for you, But there's a controversy involving a actor that was in Justice League, the guy who played Cyborg, and he was very upset, and we didn't really understand why, right?
Because they cut a scene.
Because, Ray Fisher is the guy's name. It was because the original Justice League story is kind of like about him. Like he's the guy that it's centered around, right? He was kind of like, according to Snyder, the story revolved around him, and all this other stuff happens. But he's kind of like the everyman that gets sucked into this world, and we're following him through the story, and that's kind of why it was different. And Ray Fisher was mad because all his shit was cut, supposedly.
They chopped it. Interesting.
So more to come. We'll see Justice League. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. What's your deal? Nothing. What's coming up for next week besides all the shit that we just talked about?
No, I besides the stuff we talked about, I think it's, if you're into basketball, it's gonna be wall-to-wall college basketball. I'll be watching that.
March Madness starts this week. It starts tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
The play-in games. That's about.
Yeah, what?
The play-in games. Like it's not the official bracket yet. You got to play in to get into the brackets. It's like one of those, like, the American Conference or whatever. Like, some small schools trying to get in. Right.
Listen, man, it's basketball. Basketball starts tomorrow. Get your shit together. This weekend's gonna be crazy. March Madness. Where's Obama?
Get your pools.
Where's Obama's breakdown? That's
his
the other
pool,
thing,
right?
Right? Like people hated Obama for doing that. It's like that's one of the coolest things he fucking does. Let's see. I'm gonna say.
Wore a tan suit though. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, kids. Signing off. These are your old friends from your favorite show. Opinions are stupid. Everybody has an opinion. A lot of them are stupid. Take it easy, kids. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. I fucking forgot.
What's that?
So, this week, they started going after, like heavily going after, and they started to go after the people who said all that stuff about the voting machines, right?
Yeah, yes, right. They came out today. Right.
But they're saying, well, like companies, like, people are getting fired and stuff over it, and they're not, but they're going after everybody who said that they were some kind of Venezuelan thing, and and the people the person they think they're gonna basically win the case against outright is Rudy Giuliani, because he would say something in public,
right,
to the press, and then wouldn't have that in the papers that he would put in court.
Right. Which is crazy. Like what games were you guys playing? I don't understand this,
But what I think is great is like, oh, well, the president didn't win. This guy didn't win because of this. It's like there's no, you have nothing. You have nothing.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
There was some discrepancies. There were no discrepancies.
Right. Right down the line, like every agency is saying this is the most secure election, whether you believe it or not. That's what every agency, every
there was a lot of people. There was a lot of
saying.
people voting by mail. It's like,
yeah,
because there was a virus that was killing people.
There are states in this country that just do mail ballots. Have been doing it for years, by the way. Yeah. Like Florida has been doing mail-in ballots for years, and nobody says anything.
But now it's a problem. Well, because Trump kept saying that mail-in ballots. He knew. Here's the thing. Trump is an idiot, right? But he also gets the story. Like he understands the story, the narrative. He gets it because it's part of the big lie. And if you're going to learn how to do the big lie, you got to take your story and you got to stick with it. Otherwise, people aren't going to get it. So the story was, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. Right away, I'm going to win. Fly comes out of his mouth. But then these ballots, they're going to come in. These ballots. I don't understand how these ballots work because I'm stupid, and I'm going to lose. And it's going to be a stolen election. Everybody knows it's stolen. No, it's not a stolen election, stupid. Most people aren't going to come to the frickin' ballot box to put in their votes unless they're your stupid people that vote for you, stupid. Everybody else is going to mail in their shit. And the people that are going to mail in their shit are the people that are going to vote for Biden because they're not going to go out. Like I put in my ballot a month before the vote went in because I don't want to die on fucking election day. So that's why you lost, because you're dumb. Anyway. Opinions are stupid. A lot of people have opinions and they're stupid. Have a great week. See you next time. Check you out, brother.
Take it easy.
This Godzilla thing. I'm telling you. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get some people.
Let's get some people to do it.
We'll live stream that day.
We should do it. Yeah, live stream. We're gonna do it. We can't live stream, by the way. We have a Facebook channel. We can live stream.
Let's do it.
All right. Shit.
We'll do play-by-play. It'd be like that Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Not do that in the theater. All right. Peace.
Take it easy.